tiny women. I think of open wounds. I think of warriors learning to be gentle. The following poems tell a transgenerational story of maidens, mothers, monsters, and magic that encapsulates the heartbreak of being a daughter and the healing of becoming a mother. Once upon a time, there was a little girl with stars in her eyes, a rock in her chest. She liked to play in the back of her mother's closet, imagining worlds beyond hers, full of dragons, fairies, and magic. She imagined she was a witch. She wondered what magic felt like. Where do boogers come from? What happens to all her boogers when she dies? Will they glow in the dark, forever unseen like she is in life? She wondered if boogers were all she'd leave behind. Once upon a time, there was a girl with stars in her eyes, a rock in her chest, and a lock in her throat where her voice should be. Her imagination was the only loud thing about her. Her mother was a warrior, a sword always unsheathed, slaying her daughter as she tried to shield her. Lessons delivered like lacerations, but didn't mark the skin bruised, the soul. The girl spent her life impaled on the plantain. My mama told me that her first memory was of jumping on the bed, unburdened by stress. Then my nana kept the blade beneath the mattress. Then my nana stabbed my pawpaw 23 times with my mom as witness. My mama told me that we come from warrior women forged in fire, that her mother spoke words that cut. My mother told me she hated me once. Some of her words still twist in my gut. I often wonder how I could be her daughter. How does a knife give birth to a pillow? How does the pillow keep from getting sliced open? I come from women who never had soft, safe places to repose. I come from cuss-outs, beatings, stabbings, and witches who will break your nose. We come from meeting others' needs to the detriment of our own, enduring violated boundaries, turning battlefields into homes. I come from women who let fear sharpen them into swords, who mistook silence for a shield, leaving their daughters to find truth in their unspoken words. Grief has impaled my maternal line from as far back as I could find. Unsmiling photographs of my great-grandmother's shoulders, hunched over. Exhaustion and sadness weigh on her like armor. Silent rage preserved in sepia, satisfaction sacrificed for survival, and yet I come from women with short timelines who made more plans for death than they ever did for life. My great-grandmother passed at 54. My nana surrendered to her husband's bed at only 69. About 3 times the number, she stabbed my pawpaw with her knife. And I wonder if my nana felt alone. I wonder if she felt unheard. I wonder if it was her last resort or her first. I wonder if she knew that her baby girl was watching. When my mother smiles, I still see razors in her teeth. She tells me she loves me, and when I hug her, it is metallic and sweet. She relinquishes her blades to me because I am not a pillow. I am a she. What no one ever tells you about motherhood is that once you give birth, you are thrust backwards in your timeline. Things that you think have healed suddenly tear open again, and you're forced to face them. Otherwise, you bleed all over your new baby. A battle rages within me, one between maiden and mother, connection and ego hurts child and healed woman. That's why I always come wielding apologies. Mommy's sorry for yelling at you. I was overwhelmed and didn't handle it well. You didn't deserve that. You deserve space to be everything that you are. You see, growing up, there was no space for me to be who I am. I shrink-wrapped my personality to fit in the closet, vacuum-sealed my vibrance so I couldn't breathe, stowed away my spirit like out-of-season sweaters, abandoned my authenticity for armor. Because home was like the barracks. Baby, your mama was bred for war. I have been wounded my whole life, and I'm trying so hard not to bleed on you. I have been wounded my whole life, but I promise I will heal for you. I will unpack my spirit, turn these barracks into ballroom, trade my armor for a tutu, and I will wear vulnerability like a pair of dancing shoes. We don't have to hide. We don't have to shrink. In this big, beautiful ballroom, baby, there is space for all of you and all of me. I make it a point to dance with my daughter, to smile at her, to show her every gap in my teeth. She has a gap just like me, a touch of mischief in her grin as we twirl. Like the swirling scribbles she leaves on the walls, the one I won't clean because I refuse to erase any impressions of her. I want them to be seen as much as I want her to be heard. I make it a point to dance with my daughter. I take her smallness into me and breathe. I inhale the innocent scent of her hair. I rub my cheek against her soft ear. I make her smile with her mischievous teeth. She slides from my arms and frolics on her little feet. She balances on one leg, spins in a circle, whips her head. Audacity in a diaper. I make it a point to dance with my daughter because I wish my mother danced with me. She taught me how to stand and fight or stand inside, but couldn't show me the delight of being light on my feet because her footsteps were so heavy with shame. More dictator than dancer. Her joy was pressed to the ground. She only saw mistakes in my grin, and so I stumbled to the beat, a beat down. She balanced on one leg when she stumped me into the ground, making me a wallflower with her coercive choreography. So I dance with my daughter so I can heal and release. I dance with my daughter so we can both be free. Once upon a time, there was a girl impaled on her mother's swords, the rock in her chest between her and death, the stars in her eyes a guiding light. The girl became a woman who became a mother, who refused to let her children be impaled too. So one by one she faced down her wounds, pulled at each pike and transmuted them into poetry, picked the lock on her throat with a pen, allowing her to wield her voice, to resist, to roar, to speak life where there was once living death, tell the rock in her heart it is finally safe, to soften and to serenade the stars so they're no longer trapped in her eyes, but spread out like the cosmos, sparkling in her children's smiles. She became a warrior. Empathy unsheathed, lessons like long hugs. She learns that magic feels like baby hair, that boss boogers come from toddler noses, that boogers do indeed glow in the dark when the person they come from is full of light, and that she no longer has to hide in closets to feel at home. extension of grace, and knowing that we are safe, an acknowledgement that our world still spins despite its many spills. Scribbles upon the walls right beneath our family pictures, impressions of the little hands that came from me, making our home more colorful with their artistic sensibility. Beds stripped of soiled sheets, cleansed of nightmares, and imbued with soft soothes, laid bare in the knowing that a happy morning yellow sand will warm its yellow threads again, and that accidents are simply part of life and they are never the end. Clothes scattered everywhere, hanging off the bed and piled in that special chair. Signs of indecision, signs of excitement, signs of our freedom to choose. There's still blue tape in the bathroom and so many unfinished projects, evidence of love's dedication, but also love's need for rest. Because love is trying its best to make a masterpiece out of brokenness, the way my children make masterpieces out of their broken crayons, because nothing is ever truly broken, only multiplied, so that we can create more beauty, more freedom, more space. Because there is space. Space for joy, space for toys, space for my children, an inner child to play, to laugh, to run with open arms, open minds. My home has so many open chambers because my home is a heart. My home is a magic hearth where walls warm into smiles and yells soften into whispers and tears turn into laughter and laughter turns into butterflies and four sprightly spirits turn into one, like colors coalescing into a rainbow, like auras dancing, like light singing. When I reach my hands out to thank God, I feel love breathing. Motherhood is a portal through which you can never go back, only forward. There is no returning, no starting over, no redo, no fast forward. There is only a series of nows and what you choose to do with them. As a mother, my greatest hope for my children is that they experience life with no shame and don't allow fear to keep them from living. I hope that they spread goodness wherever they go and that they keep an open heart, open mind, and a wide spirit. I hope you have enjoyed this tale of maidens, mothers, monsters, and magic, because it is one that has lived inside me for a very, very long time. I'm Kalia the Light, and once again, you can keep up with me on Instagram at Kalia the Light. Thank you all so much for listening and being here. It has been a pleasure.